Welcome
Back
to
Virtual.
Ooh.
Tech
It Out.
And this week we've got Catherine talking about
Hangouts, where we can look how to add multiple people and look at it in a different browser window.
great, and Jeff.
I'm going to be talking about the feature where you can use polls in Zoom, which are really useful for your online lessons.
And Mike.
We'll be exploring which mic is best when in Zoom meetings.
Get it? Because his name is Mike. He does the mics.
And I'll be talking about Jamboard, an alternative to Padlet. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Hangouts is a great tool if you want to send a message straight away and you want to send it to an individual or a group of people and not have it get lost in your mail. If you are not seeing it over here on your left-hand side of your mail view, you'll just go to your little gear settings up here and you want to see all. And once those pop up, you'll just go from general all the way to the right-hand side where it says chat and meet. And right here you can click to turn that on. Don't forget to save. It will relaunch for you and you will now see it over in your left hand side. And you will also see any chats that you've got previously, or maybe you won't see any if you haven't used it before. But I want to start a new group, but with Mike and somebody else. So I will add Mr. Mike and I'm going to add Mr. May. And we'll go ahead and start that group. I could name it if I wanted and know that I would go back to it. So now we have our group here and I can start chatting away. But, oh, maybe I forgot to add somebody. I just click on my individuals here and I need to add Mr. Derry. So I will get Mr. Derry in there. And now we've got the whole group. And if I want to go ahead and call these individuals or whoever I might be chatting with, I can send them a link, or once the call has already started, you can use this drop-down menu to chat with them. If you do not want to clutter up your email view and you want to do it in a separate window or separate tab, you can just go ahead and type in hangouts.google.com. And that will pop out into a whole new view for you where it is just your conversations and you have a new way to chat. It is also an app on your phone, so if you are out and about in school and maybe you're out on the playground and you want to message with individuals, you can do it through the app as well. So happy chatting, everyone.
Are you sick and tired of your kids going to sleep or turning off during your Zoom lessons? Would you like to add a bit more interactivity, maybe make it a little bit more interesting or get some feedback? Well, there's a really neat feature in Zoom called polling. Now what polling does is it allows you to set up a series of questions. You can either do these before the lesson or during the lesson and then ask all the participants to fill it out. You can check to see how kids are feeling about the meeting or the lesson, or you can even use it to check for understanding. To see if kids know what's happening, then you can move on to the next thing. Let's have a look now to see how you might set up a poll to use in your lessons. The first thing you need to do is to switch on polling. To do that, I always like to go to the web version of Zoom. So you go to zoom.us and then we sign in. And you've got this nice little Google button down here that we can use to sign into Zoom. Once you're signed in, you can go to your settings and then you go to in-meeting basic settings. And if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see there's an option for meeting polls. Make sure that's switched on. Once it's switched on, what you then need to do is to schedule a meeting. So if I go to my meetings, and I can see that I've already got a meeting scheduled, my class Zoom. If not, you might want to quickly set up a scheduled meeting. Once I click on my class Zoom and I scroll to the very bottom of the page, there's an option here for polls. You can see I've set up my first poll with 3 questions. I can click to add or I can edit that poll. And it's a really simple process. You just enter the title, you enter your questions, and then you put your answers. Now it is only a multiple choice, so it's not as powerful as Google Forms for feedback. But if you just want to add a little bit of extra to your Zoom lessons or you want some quick feedback during a Zoom lesson, it's a really nice tool for that. You can even download the results and have a look at them in Google Sheets. Maybe add a poll to your next Zoom and just make your lessons a little bit more interactive.
Since the beginning of the pandemic, I've always wondered, what do I sound like to the other people at the other end of my Zoom calls? So in order to do this, I got another computer, set up a Zoom call with myself, and started recording different microphones. Let's see which one sounds best.
So this is me talking just using the default MacBook microphones, and the audio would be coming from the default MacBook speakers. Now, I don't think the audio is bad, but let's see if we can make it better by using an external microphone, such as something like this. So now the microphone is on top of the webcam. That's where the audio is coming from. And you can see that it's a little bit louder. Maybe you can hear a little bit more pitch in your voice. There's a little bit more range, but I think it's a little bit nicer.
Sound quality definitely is not as good. And I can tell whenever I hear someone on this end, it doesn't sound good either. Let's try these classics.
So these have an inline microphone built right in, which means it's closer to the source of your voice. Maybe this is a lot louder for you.
I was shocked at the sound quality from the microphones from my Bluetooth headphones. So I put in my newer Bluetooth earbuds just to see if there'd be any difference.
So here's what I learned. The microphones in your laptop work just fine, but if you want to step up your game a little bit, use these cheap wired headphones that came with your cell phone a long time ago. Or you can plug in an external mic. What I like to do is use that external mic and use the audio from some Bluetooth headphones. But don't use the microphone from the Bluetooth headphones. That just sounds terrible.
Today we're going to look at Jamboard, an alternative to Padlet, which is part of the G Suite. Now I have a Padlet already opened up here that I've been working on, and this is a little task I'm going to give groups in my class. You can do it with students, teachers, you can use it for yourself, you can use it for brainstorming, getting ideas, and just checking in with people. So in this case, I've got 3 pages, 1, 2, 3, and I was asking the students to write something that they've noticed in the pictures. So I've got pictures, I've got a title, I've got sticky notes. This is a text box, these are the sticky notes, and I can do other things as well, which I'm going to show you how. So this is the idea that I could share this, or if I was working with students, I could add it as an assignment in Google Classroom. So to get to Jamboard, I'm just going to come across to my email in this case. I just need to get to the waffles. I'm going to come down and look for Jamboard. These are the Jamboards I've been working on or shared with. I'm going to add a new Jamboard, and I'm going to call this example 2. I can change the background. I can set my different backgrounds here. I can add a picture. I often like to work with the grids so it can help me align my work. To add a picture, I simply come to add an image. I can add it from uploading it from my computer, take a picture of it, add it as a URL, or I could do a Google search. Let me just do a quick Google search here, and I can add a picture from there. With a picture, I can resize it by clicking on it, arrows. I can also change the angle. I'm going to add a sticky note now. Here is the sticky note. I click. I can change the color of the sticky note. I'm just going to save it, and when I hit cancel, I'll come into here. I can have the sticky note on the top, or I can layer it and send it to the back. Not much point. I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to bring it to the front. I can change the size of the sticky note, and I can also rotate it. When I click here, I can duplicate it or delete it. When I click here, I can do the same, duplicate it, delete it, or order it. So there are 2 things I can do. In the case of a text box, I can stretch out the box, I can change the alignment, to be centered. I can change the text color. I haven't got a lot of choices. And I can change the sizing. And of course, I can put that on top of an image or somewhere else that I need to put it. I can also draw shapes. In this case, I'm going to draw a square. Try and draw a square. I can change the outside color by here, and I can change the fill color here. And if I wanted to, I could put my title in here. Whoa, I need to bring it to the front. And make a nice little box there. I can also freehand draw. I can use these different items here by clicking on the little chevron here, little arrow. I can have different colors and different items. So I'm going to use the pen, and I'm going to be in this blue here. So when I'm writing, here I go here. I don't know why I'm writing 2 + 6 is 8, but that looks very nice. Now, once I've written something, I can click. Notice I can't select that with the tool. So once it's there, it is there. If I want to move it, I can't. I need to delete it and then start again. To delete something, I'd need to use the erase tool and quickly just come here. The other tool I can use, I'm just going to come back here, is I can do the undo tool, as well as another method. I can zoom in or I can zoom out. And so there is the Jamboard. Now I can share this. I can just use it for myself, or I could share it with colleagues, just like we'd share any doc here. But if I want to add this as a Google assignment, just before I get to that part, I can flick between the pages that I have here. I can add on more frames. If I want to add this to a Google assignment, in the case of my first task here, if I want each group to work on a different slide, but keep it in the same Jamboard, so to speak, I can share this through Google Classroom. So I've gone to Google Classroom, and I'm going to click on Classwork, Create, and I've already created a topic Jamboard lesson. I'm going to create an assignment. I'm going to add the Jamboard from Google Drive. All the Jamboards are saved in Google Drive. There's task 1. I'm going to use this one here because that's the task with the different pictures on it. And of course I'd have it without all the writing, but that's how I would add it. I would have it that the students can edit that file. I'm not going to choose make a copy for each student because I want them all to be working on the same Jamboard. And then I'm going to assign it. And the students can then, when they open it, would get the same Jamboard and be able to work on it. So that's a very quick introduction to Jamboard.